It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Jaime Zilberstein.
Yes.
We're here in your beautiful home in Punta del Este in Uruguay, and I am so grateful to you. It's a big honor and a privilege to really be with you this evening. I'm very grateful to you, Jaime.
No, what you are doing, you deserve much more, but as I told you, unfortunately, my English is not.
No, it's
not
very good.
It's so sometimes
it will be fine.
Sometimes I have some difficulty with my English. Yes,
so,
I'm an eternal English learner.
You were born in Poland. Can you tell us where you were born? In which town?
The name of the town is Sarnaki. Sarnaki. It's a small town close to the Russian border, around about 60 kilometers from the Russian border, and very near to a big city, which name is Zylberstejn. You can see it in the map of Poland.
And you were born in 1937.
1937, yes. This means the September 1st, 1937, exactly 2 years before Germans invaded Poland, yes. Exactly 2 years, I was 2 years old when my parents decided to leave, to flee from Poland, and we went to the only place where we could go is to Soviet Union.
And your sister was born 2 years later? She was born...
She was born 3 years later.
3 years.
But not in another place which name is Arkhangelsk. Arkhangelsk is a big city, a port, is in front of the Mar Blanco, means the White Sea, north of Russia. Yes.
And Jaime, can I ask, your extended family, grandparents or uncles and aunts, did they live in the town as well? Did you have a large family?
My parents and my grandparents, all of them were living in this town, which name is Sarnaki in Poland. Yes, all of them were living in this small town. Yes.
And did you have a traditional home? Did you have the Chagim?
If we celebrated,
yeah.
But when we were living in Sarnaki, I was already 2 years old, so don't...
But your parents, were they traditional?
No, my parents were traditional Jews, but not religious, no? So they gave us a very good Jewish education and everything. After World War II, when we came back to Poland, I still remember we were celebrating all the festivities, but they weren't religious Jews. No? That's why I told you I have been in the Jewish Zionist organizations, which name is Ashomer Atzair.
But your family, were they always Zionistic? It was a Zionistic family? Your parents were Zionistic?
Yes, they were Zionist, yes. They were Zionistic, yes.
And do you have any memories from... You were only 2 years old. I don't know if can you recall any memories from Poland before the war?
Before the war? No, I know.
You were only 2.
I know some things my parents were telling me always, but not my own memories, no. I only know that we have been in a very good economical position. Both of them were very good businessmen. We had a store there. and sometimes they told me that I was born in a golden cradle, something like that, no. But no, this is one of the things I remember. According what my parents were saying to me, no? Telling me.
And Jaime, can I ask, when the war broke out,
yes,
and the Germans invaded Poland on the
yes.
1st of September,
yes,
so you were 2 years old,
I was 2 years old, yes.
and your parents decided immediately to leave to go to the Soviet Union?
Yes, among the Jews, they were in those times two categories of Jews. No, first of all, many of them knew already what Germans did to the Jews in Germany, especially the Kristallnacht and some other thing. And this among them were my parents. And there were other Jews that, in order not to lose the house, the properties, the businesses, everything, they preferred to stay in Poland. They couldn't imagine up to where Germans could go. So these were, unfortunately, the 6 million Jews who was German in Poland murdered. No? And my parents, they preferred to lose everything and quickly to flee to Russia, to the Soviet Union. There was an agreement between both governments that the Russian, they needed cheap labor, so that's what they allowed to let him to go to.
Because they divided Poland with the Molotov-Ribbentrop.
Sorry?
That agreement with Molotov and Ribbentrop, where they divided Poland.
Yes, something like that. Yes, I don't remember exactly, but I don't only according to what my parents told me that. That's why we could escape but they sent us to Siberia.
And who else went in the family? Did your grandparents come with you, or did your uncles and aunts?
Yes, my grandparents came with us. Yes, came with us.
And any uncles and aunts, or your parents' brothers and sisters?
No. Only my parents, a brother of mine who unfortunately died during the trip. It was a trip, lasted more than 1 week in a very bad sanitary conditions, and he died in the train during the trip to.
How old was he?
He was one year older than me. I don't remember even his name already, because there were many things that my parents didn't want to talk with us when we were
so small
little children. But that's why there are many things that I can know. I'm not able to remember. No?
And what is your first memories of being in the Soviet Union? What do you remember?
First memory, well, yes, something I remember, yes. I only know that it was a labor camp in the middle of nothing, in the middle of the woods, or in the middle of the forest, and we lived in a wooden barrack. This barrack was very long, and there were living 20 families in the same barrack, and it was a passage in the middle, one room in front of the other. In each room were living all the family, the grandparents, the parents, and the children were living in the same room. In the end of this barrack, there were only one toilet. This was one of the things I remember. And we were living only in the same room with my grandparents, my parents, and me, because my brother dead.
And was your sister born? Was your sister born already? Was your sister born?
The sister? No, my sister was born in another place already, in Archangelsk. This is one of the things you can see in the link, what I'm saying.
And which is the first town that you came to from Poland when you came to the Soviet Union?
The first time when we came back.
When you came into the Soviet Union. Do you know which town you were staying in?
Yes, this was. I don't remember exactly, but when we were living in the middle of the nothing, it was. I think it was closer to a small village which name it was Melikes, but I'm not completely sure already. No. And afterward we have to move to Arkhangelsk, which was a big city in front of the White Sea in the northern Russia, and there was born my sister, which is now living in Miami. Yes.
Do you remember when your sister was born? Do you have recollections?
No, this I don't remember only because I was.
You were still very young.
I was 4 or 5 years old, so this is impossible to. But many things I still know from what my parents told me. Yes.
And was there a hospital that your mother could have your sister? Was she delivered in a hospital?
If she was born in a hospital. No, unfortunately, I don't know where she was, in a hospital or at home.
And how were the conditions in the new place that you came to? How were the conditions?
Where? In which place?
Where your sister was born. When your sister was born, when you.
Yes, the conditions were a little bit better than in the labor camp in Siberia. But the weather was very, very cold, 30, 35 degrees below Celsius, and so on and so on. But I still remember that the food was rationed. Food was rationed. They gave you, according to the number of the family, they give you so much butter, so much bread, so much milk, so much. And still our parents only wanted to feed us in the best way and to take care of us. They must buy the rest of the food in the black market. It was still very dangerous because it was punished by law, the black market, no? You know. But they took the risk and everything to feed us, to give us the best.
And do you remember being hungry? Do you remember being very hungry?
If I remember, in my case, I don't remember, but I'm almost sure that I haven't been hungry because my parents gave us, even they took the risk to be punished, and they bought in the black market food for us.
And while you were in the camp, could your parents work, or what did you do?
My father had to work in the woods. He was cutting the trees to make to make sleepers. You know what are sleepers for the tray, for the railroads?
Sleepers, yeah, where they put the wood.
Exactly, to make the railroads, to send it to the front, to the battlefront. This is what my father was doing all the time in the Siberia, in the labor camp. Yes.
And how were your grandparents? It must have been very difficult for your grandparents.
For my grandparents, I only remember they was very old. I don't remember the age exactly, but they have been over 60, almost 70. They didn't work. They helped my mother to keep us, to take care of us. This is only one of the things I remember. Yes.
And how long did you stay in the camp? How long? For how many years? Or?
In Siberia, we've been almost 3 years. Yes. In Siberia, yes. Afterwards we came, but exactly the itinerary, I don't remember already, but in this link is written already that from the labor camp we went to Arkhangelsk, and from Arkhangelsk to Samara. Samara is also an area. This is also the name of the city. It was first, before the Soviet Union, it was Kuibyshev, and now it is Samara. When they won the soccer championship in Russia, one of the games were in this city. This I still remember, yes. Because I wrote it in the papers, and it reminds me my childhood in Russia, yes, in Soviet Union. But when since my parents didn't accept the Russian citizenship, when World War II finished, we could come back to Poland. But we didn't come back to Sarnaki, where we were living before. We were told that in the forest, in the woods, many German bandas, you know what the bandas, were hidden in the forest. Many Germans, they still survived the war, they were hidden in this forest. So that's what it was. It was very dangerous to come back to our town where we were born. So that's why we went to another place which before War II it belonged to Germany, which name was Klotzko. It's close to a big city, Breslau, which name now is Wrocław in Polish. No, but our city now is Klotzko when it belonged to Germany, it was Glatz. Glatz was the name of the. And it was very close to the German and to the Czech Republic border. Yes.
Do you remember coming back to Poland?
Yes, this I remember much more. Yes, I remember much more. Where we lived since 45 up to 51. We were living in this place, which name was in Polish. Now it's Klotzko.
And when you
70, 80 kilometers from the big city, which name is Wrocław, now Breslau.
And when did your parents came back? When did they first hear about what happened to...
What?
When did they first hear about what happened to the uncles and the aunts and the brothers and the sisters, the rest of the family?
The rest of the family?
Yeah, what happened to the rest of the family? Those that stayed behind?
We came back with with my grandparents, and we didn't have any other relatives, but we found out that one of the brothers of my father, he came to Bolivia before World War II, 2-3 years before.
To Bolivia?
To live in Bolivia, yes, in Santa Cruz. So his name was Shulem, in Yiddish is Shulem or Salim. So we were living, when we arrived to Israel in year 51, the economical situation was very bad, because in Poland, in those years, 49, 50, 51, began already the communism. So it was almost like in Soviet Union. They began to confiscate the private property, private businesses, and everything. So it was almost impossible to stay in Poland for many Jews, and that's why we decided to flee to Israel.
So what's very interesting, Jaime, Jews from both who could leave Germany or Poland, the two places they could go to were Shanghai and Bolivia. Bolivia opened the borders.
Yes.
Those are the only two places that Jews could actually find refuge.
But in Bolivia, it was, yes. So one of my father's brothers was living there, and he was already in a very good economical situation. He wrote us when we were all in Bolivia, and when we were already in Israel, in Cuarono, in the Mabala, no? If we want, he can help us to come to Bolivia. And my parents accepted, no? I was already 15 years old. I was very good adapted in Israel. I felt that like in my home. I learned very fast Hebrew, and but since they accepted to immigrate to Bolivia, I had to go with them.
Okay, I just want to show you have
many of these.
You have
this picture are from there. Yes.
You have a picture here of a wonderful picture of you and your sister and your parents, and you have at the bottom also a picture of you in. This was in Poland.
What?
The picture at the bottom is in Poland.
This is Poland. Yes.
And you are on the right.
Yes, this one. And these are my friends from Poland, and this is where we were in the Shomer Sair, going every vacation, all of this.
And the pictures at the top, were they taken still in Poland, or was already in Bolivia?
No, this is still from Poland.
Both of them are in Poland.
This is still also from Poland, yes.
So it's your...
But this is, because here is my sister.
And what's your sister's name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
She's now 83, almost 84 years old, and she lives in Miami.
And you remember going to Hashomer HaTzair?
Yes, I still remember. But they were my friends from every year. We went to like a colonia. How do you say colonia? Like colonia in Spanish is
like a camp.
Like a camp, yes, like a camp to. And this I was playing the drum. I was marching. I still remember. I was marching in the front, and I was playing the drum because I had always very good musical hearing, yes. My father was a violinist. He played violin.
Can I ask, what happened to the remainder of the family? Do you know what happened to your mother's
I know
brothers and sisters?
This is a very difficult question.
Yeah.
Because I only know with the help of my grandson, which lives in Israel. He's a Sabra. He is married with my oldest daughter. No, in the Polish embassy, he found out that my father had only one brother, which name was Berko, and he was killed in the World War II. But this is one of the things he could find out. But for me, it was impossible to know.
Your parents didn't speak about it?
They didn't speak about it, no. They never spoke. They never speak about it. Afterward, later.
And your mother, did your mother have any siblings, any brothers and sisters?
Sorry?
Your mother, did she have any brothers and sisters? Your mother?
My mother. My brothers and sisters, no, I don't know. I only know that she had a cousin in Israel, yes, which they were living in Nachlat Yitzhak. There was, you know what is Nachlat Yitzhak or no? It's a suburb of Tel Aviv, yes. Now it's, this is another story or another chapter of the story of my life, yes.
And how was it like when you came back to Poland?
What?
How was it like coming back to Poland? Because a lot of Jews, they heard that it wasn't so good to come back to Poland, that a lot of the Polish were still anti-Semitic, and it wasn't so...
But since we didn't have relatives and friends in another country, and since my parents didn't accept the Russian citizenship, they were allowed to come back to Poland. But we had not another option because we didn't have anyone in other country.
And you didn't know about Bolivia?
Sorry?
About the relative that was in Bolivia, you didn't know? Your parents didn't know about the relative in Bolivia that went to Bolivia?
The only place from Israel, that's what I am explaining. From Israel, we could go to Bolivia because the only one brother of my father, my uncle, he was living in Bolivia.
But after the war, instead of staying in Poland, you couldn't go to Bolivia straight away?
No, straight to him, no. Because it was... you are asking me why we didn't go to Bolivia
straight
instead
away.
to go to...
Instead of staying in Poland. No, or instead of staying in Poland, instead of remaining in Poland after the war,
yes.
How come? Maybe there was no money to leave. Maybe.
Yes, but we weren't still in touch with my uncle from Bolivia. Then we didn't.
You weren't in touch.
I don't remember why, because I was very little. No?
And what about going to school? Do you remember going to school in Poland? Do you remember?
No, I went to school even in Russia also, in Soviet Union, yes. I went to second grade in school.
And do you remember the schools?
I still remember the way to the school. I had to go to walk a couple of kilometers. I still remember that I had to cross a wooden bridge, and it was very, very cold, and my nose was a little bit burned from the freeze, so cold it was, and I went to school up to second grade.
And were the other Jewish children in the school, or was it mainly you Russian children?
No, I don't remember exactly how many, but some Jewish children were also in the school, yes. But I went also up to second grade, because I still remember I could. I learned to write, to read in Russian and everything.
And you could speak Russian?
I spoke very well Russian, yes. I spoke very well.
Do you still speak it a little bit or understand it?
Yes, I still remember, because I lived already in 6 different countries. In each country, I spoke Yiddish with my parents at home. And when we lived in Russia, Russian, outside. And when I lived in Poland, Polish. And when I lived in Israel, Hebrew. And so on, so on. That's why I told you that I was fluent really in
and now Spanish.
And now Spanish, almost 60 years, almost Spanish. Why? Because my wife, she speaks only Spanish. No? She's born in Argentina. So time to time, when I go to Israel, I speak a little bit Hebrew. When I go to the United States, I speak. But to Poland, I never went back. There are 3 countries I never been. I never came back. No, to Poland, to Austria, and to Germany. You know why? Because in Austria was born Hitler, no? In Poland, you know what the Poles did with Jews, no? And all the concentration death camps were in Poland, with the agreement of Polish government. You know it, no? And in Germany, I have been in many European countries, almost 50 countries, different countries. But I never came back to these 3 countries. But never mind, this is so.
And can I ask, when you were returned to Poland?
Sorry?
When you came back to Poland,
yes,
after the war ended, after 45,
yes,
the school that you went to, was it mainly Polish children in the school, or were there also a few Jewish children?
No, I went to school. I was studying Polish in the morning, afterwards in the afternoon. Afternoon Hebrew and Yiddish, yes, still. I still have my, how do you say, it's the record
from the school. And your bar mitzvah, you remember your bar mitzvah?
Sorry?
Do you remember your bar mitzvah?
No, this is one of the things I don't remember. If my parents made me bar mitzvah, that's why I made bar mitzvah maybe 10, 15 years ago in Buenos Aires with my grandson.
Sure, that must have been very special.
I made my bar mitzvah here in Buenos Aires. Yes.
Oh.
See, because when I was asked the same question what you are asking me, I wasn't really completely sure. So I told in Buenos Aires that since I'm not sure, I made my bar mitzvah in a very important synagogue in Buenos Aires, yes,
Wonderful.
with my grandson. Yes.
And when you were in Poland, when you came back after the war, was it difficult to be living in Poland after the war?
After the war, the first year, it wasn't so difficult, no, but afterwards, in the years 49, 50, 51, it already began the communist regime.
But did you have any anti-Semitism or any anti-Jewish from the school children?
We didn't feel it. We didn't feel it, no. At least in our family, we didn't. No discrimination, no persecution. And my parents improved. They began to work. They installed a little shop, and we made a very good economical situation after World War II. Yes.
And did you have Polish friends at school?
Yes, I still remember. Yes, I have Polish friends. Yes.
And you got
the names. It's hard to remember already. No?
And neighbors, you had non-Jewish and Jewish neighbors?
But my best friends always were Jews, yes. In Poland, yes. How do you say bulletin de qualification? When you go to school and they give you...
A report. A report.
The report, yes.
A report, wow.
Mathematics, art,
Sure.
so much, Hebrew, so much, Polish, so much, geography.
And can I ask...
It's a report?
A report. And Jaime, can I just ask, when you went back to Poland, did you ever go visit your town that you were born? Did your parents go visit, or did you go to see what happened to the house?
No, never. But
even after the war, even many years...
we never came back to our birthplace.
Your parents didn't want to see what happened to the house, or...
No. I only know that one of my daughters, who is living now in Buenos Aires, she's already 57 years old. She was the only one that in a trip with a friend of her, with a backpack, she went to visit both places. The first was Sarnaki, where was I living, and afterward to Klosko, where we were living after World War II. She's now in Buenos Aires, yes.
And what did she tell you? Is there anything that remains?
Yes. She told me that Sarnaki is a very small village, not very developed. The streets are not paved yet. No, there is a square in the middle of the church, but not too many details. I don't remember. But the other place she went to visit also, where the city where we lived after World War II, yes, also Klotsko. So she's like an adventurer like me, like everyone.
Wow.
Yes.
And when your parents decided to leave, were you happy to be going to Israel? Were you happy to leave Poland? You were happy to go?
No, we weren't so happy, but because we were obliged, my parents were obliged to leave almost all the belongings in Poland, because in the border, to leave Poland, the government gave you a list. How many T-shirts, how many towels, how many watches, but my mother was always very good balatavait, covering balatavait, household.
Like a housewife and a house
A gitte
mother.
wel guste.
Yeah, but it
She
was
was very gitte. We had crystal from Bohemia. We have carpets from Syria.
But you couldn't take it with.
We couldn't. Everything we had to leave it. But I still remember that in the border they took away many things from us. They took it away.
They confiscated.
Confiscated, yeah. They confiscated it, and I still remember we were crying. In order to see if they was sorry about us and leave something, but we lost a lot. We were they confiscated us a lot of things. Yes, so that's why we got to Israel almost without anything.
How did you get to Israel? Did you go on a ship?
We went to Israel with a train through Czech Republic, and afterwards we get to Venetia, and then we took a ship. Yes.
Do you remember the name of this ship?
The name of the ship.
Or do you remember the journey?
No, I don't remember so very well, but from Poland to Israel, no. I remember more from when we came back from Israel to Bolivia, no. But
And when you left Poland, your friends, was it difficult to say goodbye to your friends was it difficult to say goodbye to your friends when you were leaving Poland?
take a what?
To say goodbye to your friends, to the friends that you had made in Poland. Was it difficult to say goodbye?
About
Goodbye, to say, was it difficult to say I'm leaving and...
in Poland to
Yeah.
say no, it was easy. No, we had not any problem to say goodbye to the family, to the
And your
classmate, to my classmate.
and your grandparents?
They came with us. They came with us to Israel, yes. And they passed away. They passed away in Israel, yes.
So you have here, this is the passport.
Yes, this is you can.
Wait, I'll just show. And how was it like when you came to Israel?
Sorry?
When you arrived in Israel,
When we
arrived in Israel, were you sent straight to Kfar Ono, to the Mabarot, or
yes, we went straight to Quarono, to the Mabara. Yes, it was in the middle of the desert, no? In the middle of the.
it must have been difficult? It was also the country was going through a very difficult period financially.
We were living almost 1 year, 10, 11 months in a tent, by oil.
A tent, yeah, a tent.
And I still remember that we had to go to the toilets almost 100 meters to the toilet. Yes, this is one of the things. And I still remember in the shakal. You know what is shakal? The wild dogs, like the wolf, no? There was the cry of the from the distance, no? This is, but
It must have been hard for your parents.
what?
For your parents, it must have been very difficult as well.
Sure, my parents was very difficult here because the change to wars was very big. The change, the contrast. because we had to leave everything in Poland.
Sure.
So then, like, my father had began to work as a carpenter in a small factory, no? As a carpenter.
And your mother?
Sorry?
Did your mother work as well, your mother?
The what?
Your mother, did she also work?
My mother. No, my mother, she, I don't remember, she wasn't working. I was 15, almost 15 years old, and my sister was 11, 12. She took care of us. Huh?
And how was it like going to school? When you went to school,
Yes.
you learned Hebrew quickly, or did you adapt?
Yes, I learned very quick Hebrew, yes, because in this age, 5, 10, 15 years, you are like a sponge, you absorb everything. No? So especially when you have a motivation to get adapted to the country, to the place. So when you have a very important motivation like this, you are still young, you learn everything very fast, yes. It was my case at least, no?
And did any of the other school friends that you made friends quickly? You made...
Yes, I made very, very quickly friends, and I still remember I had my first girlfriend, no? Kala. And I still remember then when my parents decided to leave Israel, I told them that I'm leaving the country. They didn't believe me. How? A Sabra, somebody who was born in Israel, leaves the country. So you know what I mean? So I had to explain them that I'm not born in the country. Since the difficult of the economical situation, my parents decided to leave Israel. So good was my Hebrew.
They thought you were separate.
They was thinking that I was born there. No?
And did anybody ever ask you, what about being in Siberia, or what happened during the war? Did you ever discuss it with any of your friends that you were born in Poland? Did any of your friends know that you were born in Poland, or that you lived in Siberia? Did you speak with your friends?
In Israel, no. All of them saw that I'm Sabra, that I'm born in Israel. Yes.
But you never spoke with your friends. You never told them.
No. But the first days, I had to, because I was Ore Hadash, so I must. But exactly the details, I don't remember. But I only know that after living almost 2 years in Israel, I was very, very fluent in Hebrew. Yes, very fluent.
And how many years did you live in Israel before you went to Bolivia?
We were living less than 2 years.
Only 2 years?
Less than 2 years, only 2 years. So when my uncle from Bolivia wrote us that he can make the paperwork to come to Bolivia, yes, it was less than 2 years, yes.
And how did you go to Bolivia? Do you remember leaving? It must have been difficult to leave. You had made new friends in Israel, and now you were going to South America.
For me it was
a trauma.
For me it was very difficult because I've been already 15 years old. I got very good adapted to the country. I felt very well there because the best friendships you have are in those years when you are still still a child or still a.
It must have been very hard.
What?
It's a hard thing that you went through. It's not a simple thing to go through to leave your friends behind, and you made a new life, and now you have to leave again.
Yes, I still remember it was for me it was very hard. But,
and your sister, was it hard for your sister as well?
Sorry?
Your sister,
yes.
Was it difficult for her?
For her also, yes, for her also, but I'm talking about me, but her feelings must not be the same like mine. No.
She was young as well.
Yes.
And how did you go to Bolivia? How did you travel?
How did we travel? We had to go with a ship to Italy. I still remember to Genova, and from Genova we took a plane. No, sorry. I only remember that we went to first we went to Venezia, and in Venezia we took a ship to go to Buenos Aires. It was almost 20 days, the journey, yes, with a ship to Buenos Aires, and from Buenos Aires a plane to Santa Cruz, Bolivia, yes.
And how, had your father met his brother, or was this the first time after the war that they were meeting?
After when we got to Bolivia.
But before, had your father's brother come to visit you in Israel, or had you met him before?
My uncle never came to visit us in.
So this was the first meeting your father had since the war.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how was that encounter? How did they? It must have been very emotional. The only two survivors.
No, the details I don't remember already. No.
But do you have recollection of when you met your uncle?
With my uncle, yes. But there's also a lot to talk about this. No, the first times he was very helpful, very good with us, everything. But unfortunately. He made all kinds of businesses. Even he owned money, even a judge in Bolivia. He was something very ambitious or something like that. And if you want, I can continue with the story so you can understand even better, no? In Bolivia, when I arrived to Bolivia, I was 15 years old, and I always wanted to study medicine in a more developed country than Bolivia was. And so at the age of, when I was 17 years old, I went along to Buenos Aires. In Buenos Aires, I finished high school, and afterwards I began to study medicine. When I was in the fourth year of the career of medicine, once somebody called me that my parents, they owned a store, store in this in Bolivia, in the city. It's Santa Cruz was the name of the city, no? So somebody called me that both my parents were murdered in Bolivia. Thieves came. This was they went to rob and to steal. They wanted the key of the safe. They were living. There was behind the store. There was like a parco, like a small park, but very small. And after and behind this, they had the room. They were living there, no? And then there they have the safe with all the papers, with all the documents, with the money, with the jewels and everything. Since they often resisted, they didn't want to give the key. Both were murdered the same night. Yes. So I had to go. I had to leave my career, the medicine. I had to go to Bolivia, liquidate everything. And so this is a very sad story, you know, also. And
did you ever go back to medicine?
Sorry?
Did you ever continue with the medicine? Did you ever go back to university to finish your course in medicine?
Yes, after almost 1 year, I was selling everything, and I left many things to my uncle. The only one honor I could give my parents is to finish
your degree,
my career of medicine. Yes. So I came back to Buenos Aires, and I continued to study. Until now I can't understand why I could study and finish my career and to get the degree of doctor, no? Because my life lost any sense because they were living only for us.
Oh, yeah, and your sister, how did your sister react? It must have been...
My sister?
Yeah, what did she do?
Well, about my sister, she was studying in another place, which name was Cochabamba in Bolivia, she was living in the school. How do you say it in English? She was living and eating in the
a boarding school. Boarding school.
Boarding school. Yes, she was. So she was luckily she wasn't with my parents. And when she finished the school in Bolivia, I brought her to Buenos Aires, and we lived together in Buenos Aires. Yes.
Did they ever find the murderers? Did they ever capture them, or did they ever?
No, we gave many prizes. We did everything what we could, but it wasn't possible. Yes. No? We still know the names or something like that, but not exactly, no. But we couldn't do anything. We offered a very high, how do you say?
Reward,
no, a very high reward. But you know how is justice in Bolivia, no? Sure. It was a very undeveloped country, no? So we never could find the murders, no?
And did you?
That's why.
It's not. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Not very easy for me to talk.
Very difficult
to talk about this. No.
Chaim, it's very difficult. And with your uncle, did you have a good connection? was your father and your uncle very close?
Yes, the first years, the first time, yes, but afterwards the relationship was wasn't good because I had to leave many of what I unfortunately inherited from my parents in order to go back to continue my career. I left him to him, and he promised me that he will send me every month the money and everything, but he didn't. And finally, he began to be like a communist, and he went to France. This is one of the things I know from him, no? But with my cousins, he had
his children.
Three children, yes. I don't know anything now.
Are you in touch with the children?
I'm not in touch with children because they knew what the father did with us, no, with part of our money, no. Now there's something it's very, for me it's
Jaime, it's very difficult. But Jaime, you know what's an amazing? You're very positive, and you went through such a difficult life, but you're smiling and you're so positive. You have a very good outlook on life.
I always say that in life there is always something or somebody to keep going, to keep living, no? And the human being is like steel. The steel is bending, but it doesn't break. This is my last conclusion, no?
And did you practice medicine for many years?
I practiced medicine in Buenos Aires for more than 20 years, yes. 26, 27 years, yes, pediatrician.
So you became a specialist?
Yes. I always, when I was a child, I always told to my parents that I would like to be a doctor of children.
And what made you decide with your wife to come to Uruguay and to Punta del Este? What made you decide to come?
This is also, everything has a story, everything has an explanation. After so many places that I had to travel and to change, like to make a transplant, like I thought that Buenos Aires would be already the last stop, But when I still Argentina, you know something about the economy, about what is Argentina, no? It always was an unpredictable country, no? And when I was after more than 20 years working there, my retirement transformed from Argentine pesos to dollars was $150.
That's all?
That's all. It was $150. And my consultation was after I got paid after 6-7 months in Argentine currency, transformed to dollar, was $1.10. I was obliged to work in these conditions more than 12-15 years. And since my My second passion always was nature, plants, flowers. Finally, I decided to move to Uruguay, and here I installed an ornamental plants nursery here in La Barra Maldonado. You know where is La Barra? No? It's very close. It's about 11, 12 kilometers from here in La Barra Maldonado. There I installed a plant, ornamental plant nursery, you know? Landscaping, gardening, and everything. And economically, we made a very good living from this, yes.
And you're happy in Punta del Este?
This will be already my last country.
Well, for many, many years to come.
No, because my conclusion is when you traveled to so many countries, you have all kind of problems everywhere. The problems here are very, very small compared to the other places. I have been already in United States, I've been in Canada, I have been in Israel, I know Europe, I know, but here problems are very, since you don't have the only choice is to stay in the place where the problems are smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. But you still have the Israeli flag. You've got a daughter in Tel Aviv. You've got grandchildren.
Yes. Now I'm going to, next month I'm going to my second grand girl to the marriage, to the wedding of my second grand girl from Israel. Yes.
And you'll be in Israel.
I will be again in Israel. And end of June, I will be. They make me the great grandfather.
Wow, Mazel Tov.
Because the oldest daughter is going to have a boy end of June.
Mazel Tov.
So in September 20, my other my American granddaughter is also getting married. So I hope to be also in America. In New York.
You and your wife deserve all the happiness, all the simcha, because you had a hard life. You really, and I just want to thank you. I am so grateful. I'm just going to come in to thank you. It's been for me, I am so grateful to you. Coming to Uruguay and meeting you, it's been such an honor and a privilege.
Oh, yeah, I know that my personality is something very unusual.
It's very...
But unusual and very sad, unfortunately. That's why I...
But you have such a positive outlook. And it's
yes, as I told you, that there is always something or somebody for whom to keep living. No? You understand what I mean?
100%.
My English is...
No, it's amazing.
I'm sorry.
I'm very grateful to you.
No problem.
It's been such so special to be in your home.
A big pleasure to meet you. Especially this nice place like Punta del Este. How long are you staying here?
The exhibition is for a week, but coming to meet you, it's been the highlight of the visit.
Okay,
and I'm very grateful, and you and your wife, you should only have mazel bracha, and just know how, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful that you've shared your story, because it's a difficult story to tell. It's a difficult story that you went through.
But since Eliezer told me that somebody wants to talk with me, I couldn't
Oh,
deny him.
well, I'm very grateful to you.
Before knowing you, but it was a great pleasure to see you here, and I hope to see you again.
And I'll show you the exhibit. Thank you so much.
No, but you...
I'm extremely grateful.
You're welcome.